Alright, we are back for round 2. I just won the die roll, and that hand is... I think it's a keep, but it is slightly risky because of course I cannot cast anything. But just one land does quite a bit of work, and the power level well is pretty good. So I think I'll keep that on the play. Again, slightly risky, but hopefully we'll get there. Vessel is not bad. I can get a land of that if needed. Would have been better to, play it on turn 1, obviously, but... Ooh, I just hit my land either way. I think I'm gonna run the companion first, because if I attack with it, it's gonna deal more damage, and if my opponent does have a removal, I'd rather have them kill the companion over the Evangel. Alright, let's beat down. Kinda wanna hit my land drop in one hand. Not an easy choice. I could either play the Evangel or just blow up the vessel and keep Strength of Arm available. I think I'll go with the Evangel play though. Since my opponent is not doing much, getting a bit of board advantage here could be good. Let me deal more damage next turn if they are not doing anything. They might be missing a color or missing land drop, I don't really know. It was a fairly slow start, I would say, given that my opponent is playing red, which is, mostly known for aggression. I guess a blue-red deck, a controlly blue-red deck could not do many things early on. As my opponent just did not do anything. Interestingly enough. Definitely attacking with those. And I don't think we'll see any answer from the opponent, because it'd be pretty risky. Dance with the Devil. Alright. That's pretty good in general, but it's not gonna work out so well because I have the Strength of Arm. So I think I should... Well, yeah, I should be fine here. I'm just gonna pump that. This is indestructible, and this will have too many toughness for the opponent. I have to do it now, otherwise my Qatar dies, so I cannot wait for the damage. So I guess the opponent's gonna deal 2 to me, but both of my creatures are gonna leave this block, and then I can cast the Inspector, and that sounds pretty good for me. Could use some lands though. And my opponent soaked up 5 damage there, so it's not irrelevant, but beating a Dance with the Devil with just a Strength of Arm is pretty good, especially when my life total doesn't really matter too much. I think if my opponent wins, it's gonna be just with a big advantage, not really off a few damages. And I have the Pious Evangel to kinda gain some life back, so again, I feel pretty confident about my chances there. Alright, they dropped a mountain and passed the turn. That's interesting. I could see my opponent having the 3/3 flyer for flash. And I think because of that I will only attack with Katara Companion and not Pious Evangel. Don't really wanna just having my Evangel getting eaten by a Storm Rider Spirit. That sounds like a pretty bad choice for me to make. And apparently they do have something. It might not be the alright, just the wind. Interesting. It's not exactly what I expected them to do. I don't really mind that too much though. I guess I'm just gonna cast the companion back. I mean, they might not have the spirit. I think if they had it, it would have been better to just take 3 and cast the spirit end of turn than using just the wind. That doesn't sound too great. So maybe they just don't have the spirit, or maybe they won't trick me into thinking that they don't have it. I don't really know. I'm not sure what line I should take this turn, if I should attack with my two other creatures or not. Given that I just draw aim high, I think it makes things match easier for me. Because I can just deal with the Storm Rider Spirit now. And they might have it. Yes, they do have it. Not sure if they top deck it or add it last turn already. I would assume that they add it last turn. Either way, it's great for me because of that top deck. I don't think I would have attacked without the top deck, but it definitely worked out very well for me here. Alright, sweet. So, I think I'm gonna pass the turn. And interestingly enough, I do have the option to flip the Evangel, sacrificing my clue. Or I could just draw a card off the clue. Those are the two options that are available to me. I guess I could also sacrifice the Inspector. Mad Prophet is not too threatening. I think even that I don't want those to trade, I might just flip my... If they have another Just a Win, it's really bad because I can just bounce my thing, but I think it's worth doing. Also, Tribal Inspector is not doing much, and it's not gonna, do much more in the longer run, I think. So I'm willing to do that. Obviously, if they have a second Just a Win, it's pretty bad for me. But at some point, this card would have been bad for me, so... And again, the Inspector is not really doing much for me regarding this board. Alright, this flipped. They might still have the Just a Win. Quilled Wolf is not a bad draw, I guess. Alright, let's swing in with those. I'm just 2 types away from having Delirium currently. I could see my opponent just using the Mad Prophet and bouncing my Disciple. That would not surprise me. But it did not happen, luckily enough. So I guess I'm just gonna play the Wolf. Probably sacrifice the clue now. I should have sacrificed... No, never mind. I don't really need to hit my land drop. It's not like I have a 6-drop or something along those lines in my hand. I guess, yeah, if there's 2 land on the top, I might have wanted to be able to activate the Quilled Wolf. On the other hand, by keeping 2 white available, I'm potentially representing some tricks. I don't know. Both lines are viable, I think, but yeah. It really also depends on what my opponent does have and will play. Alright, so far my opponent mostly played some instant speed spell. I'm not sure what they are missing, because they have 6 cards in hand, 5 land and 2 colors. But maybe they are just waiting to use instant speed card. No response to that clue sacrifice. Alright, sure. Yeah, they could have another Storm Rider Spirit and eat my Wolf, in which case it would have been better to play my land first. That being said, I kinda wanna keep the land for the Pack Guardian too. If they have a second Storm Rider Spirit, I think it is slightly annoying, but I think I'm willing to attack into that, because 2 is starting to be less likely than the first one. I don't know. It would not really surprise me if they play that and eat my Wolf. That being said, I do have 5 mana open, so they cannot really play too riskily, so I'm not sure what will happen there. I would assume that if they have the second spirit, they will probably cast it either way. They might just have a burn spell, a lightning axe with just a wind. Alright, well that's pretty good. Sure. Bouncing the Disciple. Alright. That's a good one for the opponent. And this resolve first so I don't get a trigger. So yeah, I'm 2 cards away from having Delirium. If I draw another green, I can get Delirium of sacrificing the Vessel, and if I don't hit a land on that, I should though. Might have been better to play my land last turn and use my clue right away, I'm not sure. But if I had done that, I think my opponent would have played differently too. I think I'll just run my Reaper there, because not casting the Pious Evangel, pretty much tells my opponent I do have an instant speed creature. and it's fine. It's a fine play, I think. Still do have a decent amount of fuel in my hand, so things are not looking too bad. Alright, sleep paralysis on that, sure. Don't mind that too much, honestly. Alright, that's not bad. Should I play around potential counterspell, or should I try to eat the Skulker? How likely is my opponent to have a counterspell? I don't really know. I'd rather play the Evangel first for the life gain, but I think Pack Guardian provide me with much better board state. I think I'll just gonna, and you know they know that I have an Evangel, so it's not really gonna be a surprise. And this way I make sure this doesn't get countered, which I think could be irrelevant because it's 6 power to the board that I really don't want to be countered. So sometime, even though it has flash, I think it's fine playing that main phase. And I will blow up that vessel end of turn and try to find some other goodies. Alright, 6-drop could be Rise from the Tide. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 zombie. Alright, they come into the battlefield tapped. So, but that's definitely threatening. And that's gonna, that's bad, jeez. 4 land? Well, at least I'm putting those in the graveyard, but still, not eating any spell of that is pretty clunky. And another land here? Ugh, that cannot be good. Alright, well, I'm definitely attacking with the wolf, I think. I mean the big wolf. I do have this Evangel that could drain out my opponent at some point, so there is that. Alright. And I do have a bunch of things to sacrifice using that, so I feel in a decent spot. The zombies are mostly there to be able to deal with my Pack Guardian more than anything else. My opponent is left with 2 cards in hand. Not sure what those are. A Feather. Ooh, that's interesting. That's some sweet brew. I'm not sure it's gonna advantage my opponent so much though this game, because giving me fuel could not be their best choice. I think I'm fine taking the damage. Like, I'm at 23, I have an Evangel. I'm not sure if I agree with playing that from my opponent. Alright, we'll see. I mean, it's a pretty strong card, so definitely gonna change up things during this game. Dauntless Qatar is not bad. Kinda wanna flip my Evangel as soon as possible, so I will probably not play that right away. And I can just probably play a Spider, I think. So am I willing to trade those 2 things for 3 zombies and draining my opponent for 2? Yeah, I think it's fine, honestly. They are probably gonna triple block they should triple block the Pack Guardian, I think, but they did not do so. Alright, not really problematic here. So I'll get 2 drain, unless they top deck a removal in the meantime, which would be pretty bad for me, but I don't think it's so likely. And I'd rather get my drain as soon as possible when I'm sure I can get them, because those few damages are gonna be really important for me to be able to kill my opponent. Moonlight and with no werewolf. Unfortunately, this is not a werewolf, even though it does flip. So I have I think in my deck I have 5 wolf, if I remember correctly, and yeah, 2 of them are in my graveyard. There are also 4 lands in my graveyard and 8 land onto the battlefield. So I have 5 land left in my library, which is less than a third. Alright, that's probably some pretty good news. The Skulker is attacking. I'm gonna block. I don't really understand that. I mean, they probably have something, but if my Watcher die against a Trick, it's like fine with me. I mean, any creatures that goes into the graveyard is good for me. So I don't really know what this is. An Essence Flux. Alright, that seems like a fairly weak play from the opponent. Tireless Tracker, not bad. Don't really want to trade my Disciple for any of my opponent creature. I'm just gonna attack with the Watcher of the Web. I mean, in the web, I guess. Is it? Yeah, in the web. Alright. And play 2 more creatures, as they will just double block. I think I'll put the Skulker first, but yeah, they probably have another trick alongside that. Again, if they kill my creatures, I don't really mind that too much, so it's fine with me. And I guess I should play a tracker. I mean, yeah, no reason not to, basically. I think as long as this survive, my opponent is going to be in real trouble. And even if they somehow get a removal for that thing, then they go down to 3. I have 2 creatures with 3 power onto the battlefield. So this pretty much sounds like game over, I think, for the opponent, but we will see. And I'm not sure how much playing Feathered Vision was good for them. My opponent deck seems very sweet though. Bunch of good, instant sorceries. Inner Struggle on the Spider. Don't really mind that, honestly. It's another trigger for the Disciple. So no problem. I drew a Harvest End in the meantime, which is fine. But they are pretty dead on the board here, so... And they are left with 1 card in hand. This card has to be pretty sick for them to come back. Like, even if they just have a Wrath of God, they would die from the 3 trigger from the Disciple, so... Yeah, I don't really know what could save my opponent at this point. But maybe they have something. Oh, Welcome to the Fold. That's good, that's really good. I have no idea why they did not play their land after stealing my tracker, but whatever. I don't mind I don't mind that. That was a weird sequencing from the opponent. Very, very weird sequencing. Interland Logger, give me a removal because of the Ant. And I think I will just go for the kill here. No reason not to, I don't think so. My opponent did draw a card in the meantime of Feathered Vision. Unless it's a removal or a bounce spell, it's not gonna be good enough. I'm gonna kill my own tracker. And then attack with both my creature, and they will die, because if they block something... I mean, unless they top deck an instant speed spell, obviously. But if they block the Disciple, they take 3. If they block the Qatar, they take 2 and 1 drain. So pretty much game over at this point, I would assume. Barring some top decks, obviously. If they did draw a Storm Rider Spirit in the meantime, they can not die this turn, but they will still be in a lot of trouble. My open deck seems really good, like a bunch of good removal, mind control, Feathered Vision, which can be pretty sick with just the wind. Essence Flux is something I should worry about for the next game. Lightning Axe is amazing. I haven't seen any Lightning Axe in any draft so far. I think this card is taken so highly, and it's not for bad reason, it's because it's great, that yeah, I just haven't seen any Lightning Axe in any draft. What is that? What is happening? All right, the opponent just conceded. Sweet. So we managed to beat that game. I mean, that deck. That's gonna be a tough matchup because, again, I think my opponent deck seems like extremely solid. Given what I've seen, I don't know. My opponent didn't show any one toughness removal, but I could bring in dual shot since I've played a Qatar's companion. I think tricks are a bit worse in this matchup, especially since I show them to the opponent, so they are aware of what kind of things I could be doing. And tricks are really bad if they just have one ride available, because they can just lightning axe in response and 2-for-1 me. I guess not really 2-for-1 me if they don't have anything to discard, but that's still very bad. I think I'm gonna remove one of my trick and add a creature and try to be the more aggressive I can. Loam Dryad, I guess, is an answer to some extent to Feathered Vision, because it gives you more mana and some early plays. But I don't think it's good enough that I want it in the main deck for this matchup. Definitely gonna be tough though. Ooh, that hand is not great. I think I'm gonna keep it though, but it's pretty risky. I mean, it's not really risky, but it's pretty slow. And I think I kind of have to be fast in this matchup. But you know, if you top deck a 1-drop in the meantime, it does make things much simpler. As my opponent played a Sanguinary Mage, sure. I'm just gonna pass the turn and block their mage. If they use a trick or anything like along those lines to kill my Inspector, I'm fine. They might not do that because I have some mana available. Feathered Vision would be quite threatening here, I'm not gonna lie. As I just play a Nibilis, which is also fairly threatening. Ooh, well, drawing lands is pretty bad. Ah, that's starting to be a lot of land, like really a lot of land. Alright. I kept a 2-spell hand, which is always slightly risky, obviously, but yeah, I've been drawing the Inspector, which is pretty good, but then 3 lands in a row, which is obviously quite awful. Ah, another land? That's gross. That's really gross. Like, so this is 3-spell, 9 land on the top 12 card of my library. Alright, sure. Not too much I can do about that, unfortunately. Good news is that if my opponent chooses to kill the Qatar, I do have a block for the Nibelisk. I guess that it's a pro-S creature, obviously, but I do have a block, which could be relevant at some point. They might just take 3, I would not be too surprised. And yeah, I'm just gonna pass the priority because I have just a 5-drop and 5 land. Extremely clunky. It's the risk I signed up for when I kept this 5-lander, but I did not really expect to draw that many lands. Alright, so they have the Essence Flux. They could use that instant speed to pump the Hound and pump the Nibilis. I think I'm gonna play into that though, because it's quite risky given that I will have a bunch of mana open, so I think I'm fine attacking with the Qatar. Jeez! Alright. Well, 10 land, 3 spell. Yeah, sometime you cannot do much. Again, I'm gonna play into that Essence Flux. I think my opponent could do that, but it is extremely risky, and I think it's unnecessary to use that. Sure, you could eat the Qatar, but if I have any sort of... Alright, they are going for that. Interesting. I don't think I agree with... Okay, they did not choose the thing. Never mind. Never mind. So I'm just gonna cast my Sage, which is gonna be pretty big, but can easily be killed by not a Lightning Axe because it's 6/6, but Inner Struggle. Alright. This is the flood of the day. Geez, 11 land. That's starting to be like really more than I have ever drawn in one game. Alright, Inner Struggle, not really surprising. And at this point, I think I do lose. If this ad lived, and I could threaten my opponent, I'd be fine. But here, yeah, there's just no coming back in this game. I don't think so. That's crazy. That's crazy. I guess I'll play my stream and pass the turn. I could concede right away, but and I don't think like then chances of me winning this game now are like something like 0.001% maybe, but especially if my opponent has a favored vision here. This is gonna kill me pretty quickly, unfortunately. Yeah, I think I can concede at this point, alright. That was pretty unlucky, honestly. That's really a lot of land. You are already easily in trouble when you draw something like 8 land 5 spell among 13 cards, but when you draw 10 land 3 spell, it's like it's on a higher level. I don't think I want to change up anything. I'm gonna keep my deck this way, and hopefully we'll get a better draw this time. Maybe again, maybe I should have mulliganed my hand. I feel like it was fine though. I had a solid 3-drop, very good 5-drop. All the lands to cast basically anything, so it sounded pretty solid. Alright, that hand is good. I like that. And I think Vessel is pretty good in this matchup too, which I can definitely appreciate. Watcher pretty decent at stopping the Nibelisk too. It's interesting. I think I'll run the Quilled Wolf first, because any damage is important, and this could attack for 2 next turn if my opponent doesn't have any sort of answer. And I drew a Logger in the meantime, not bad. This would have been much better last turn, obviously, but I still play that. And if my opponent missed their 3rd spell, that could be a blowout, so there is that too. They could just have a dual shot, I guess. End of turn, that would not really surprise me, since they've seen a few one-toughness creature. But if they use dual shot just to kill the Logger, then the Vessel is getting much better. Guess we'll see. But if my opponent miss a spell here, they are gonna be in trouble. And they might have a Lightning Axe in hand that they don't really want to use, but that they might have to use now just to make the... yeah. Alright, yeah. That's not surprising at all. And it's pretty good for me. They still manage to get rid of the wolf, but they will not be able to just the wind, and yeah, they are missing the blue, which is probably pretty bad for them. Now I'm gonna add another werewolf to the board, since I just top decked a forest. And now my opponent is in real trouble. Like any turn where they will not cast a spell is gonna be fairly lethal, honestly. Because if I can get my 5/6 and 4/2, that's gonna be a lot of trouble for my opponent. And now that they use an axe on my wolf, they are more unlikely to be able to deal with the hunter too. So in general, that's just great for me. Alright. I don't think it's time for me to try to flip my werewolves. I could have used Expose Evil, that doesn't sound too great either. I think I'm just gonna beat down, play my Vessel, and probably, barring some weird shenanigans from the opponent, probably blow that out at the end of their turn. But again, since they are missing their blue, I feel comfortable about how this game is going. Another Pyre Hound, maybe? A Dance with the Devil. So my werewolf don't flip. That makes sense. Alright, sure. I think it's pretty good at annoying my Vessel, to say the least. So I could expose evil now. Yeah, the devils are pretty great at stopping me right away. I guess I'm still gonna expose evil tapping this and one devil. Maybe I should just flip my wolf first. An alternative play would be to attack just with the spirit, pass the turn, make those flip, and then expose evil at the end of my opponent next turn. Get the clue so I don't lose too much tempo. I think I'm fine doing that actually. Kinda wanna flip that before the devils start to die. It sounds like a good choice for me to make. And if you can flip werewolf with, having instant, it's pretty good because you don't lose the tempo. So I think I could have made different plays, but I think this one is fine. And if this goes up to a 5-6, it's gonna be very hard for my opponent to deal with it. With the blue and some bounce spell, they could have done things, but I mean they could do things, but without blue, red doesn't tend to have a lot of way to kill cards like that. And my opponent seems to be really missing those blue mana, unfortunately for them. Alright, there was a little lag there. I almost clicked through the end step because of this. Definitely tapping the two things there, sacrificing my clue, as my opponent apparently F6'd. Ooh, Captain is great! That was an amazing top deck, because it means that they cannot really kill my thing efficiently with the Devil, as well as adding a ton of damage to the board too. That was an amazing top deck, like, yeah, that's great. A lot of damage, and also make my opponent unable to kill my spirits with the one devil they have. So there's a chump block here, but they cannot kill any spirits, and they go down to 2. Yeah, pretty unfortunate that my opponent missed land drop, but I think at this point it's gonna be over because, yeah. I was already in good spot without the captain, but this top deck pretty much sealed the deal, I think. So they need to answer 2 spirits and also deal with my ground creatures. Alright, that's gonna be game. Pretty unfortunate for the opponent to miss those blue mana, but I guess it was pretty unfortunate for me game 2 to draw that many lands. Either way, that was the match. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, feel free to leave a like or subscribe. It's really appreciated. And I see you guys in a few minutes for round 1. I mean, never mind, for the finals, for round 3. Not sure what went through my mind there. Either way, thank you for watching.